Rock Zone. Kawan J.
DJ One. It's the group, homie. The mixtape show. The mixtape show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mixtape Show. It is time for the Artist of the Week interview, and this week's Artist of the Week is checking in from the West Coast, that Bay Area. He's going to be giving us a little history lesson on the culture out there too, and we're going to talk about his new project he just released, that Sucka Repellant. And we've been playing his music here for a while on the show, been playing his music on the station organically. So it's kind of finally dope to sit down and chop it up with the brother, man. He goes by the name of Dregs One, and he's checking in live here in the Mixtape Show, man. What's good, brother? How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great, bro. I appreciate, like I said, all the love you've been showing, and I'm glad to be here, chopping game with you.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Like I want to give you a little backstory how I stumbled upon your music, man. I know we're in the digital era, so it's not like how I used to be when, I got to go to the record stores and kind of go to the indie section and kind of find the
Yeah.
music. So I still try to discover and kind of find music, man. It's just my passion is always find new records and stuff like that. So now I use the internet as my digital crates now. And I came upon one of your projects. It was either the previous project or the one before that, through the artwork. It's the one where it looks like you're kind of walking in the street in front of like a kind of like a corner store. We call them bodegas.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
That's corner store poetry.
so I
Yeah.
like the artwork, and I was like, man, if somebody puts that much effort into the presentation of the artwork, I know the music's gonna be dope. You know what I'm saying? So I took a chance on it and went and purchased it and started jamming it and was like, oh, okay, I like this. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm originally from New York, so I was born and raised in New York. I live here in Dallas, Texas now, but I've always been a fan of people keeping it organic to their culture and where they come from and stuff like that. Because I've even been a New York guy, I was always drawn to like RBL Posse. I was always drawn to, E40 for the independent hustle. It was Sick with it, and Too Short and all that kind of stuff, and Rapping Forte. Like those guys kind of felt more organic and authentic to me as a East Coast head, kind of tapping into their music. So when I kind of stumbled on your music, it had that same feeling of this guy's organic, this guy's authentic with his music. And then I found you on your social media, on your Instagram, and I like how you use your Instagram page to kind of teach and kind of put us up on game on the culture out there in the Bay Area. So I kind of want to get into that too, man. So um I appreciate you for what you're doing as far as that piece, man. I love how you give us game, you know what I'm saying, with your music, and it's dope to hear that, and you being organic to where you grew up with. So why don't you tell the people, man, growing up in the Bay Area, how was that coming up for you and getting caught up in the music scene and all that?
It was dope, man. Like the words you used, organic, is like real accurate because Uh, I grew up, I'm a hip hop baby. I love all the classic joints, all the classic MCs, the
Mm,
vibe of the music. I grew up as a kid watching Crush Groove and all that stuff.
mm,
And then I discovered that there was like this underground world that was literally right outside my door
mm,
of music that wasn't on the radio as much, wasn't in huge rotation, but it was from where I'm from.
mm,
It was from the soil. And around the time too, like you probably remember, like late '90s, early 2000s, it was a real noticeable change in like radio and mainstream to where everything was kind of watered down. So it was
mm.
like kind of the perfect timing for me to discover that, like, man, who are these cats putting up stickers in the hood laundromat?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's going on with these posters on the wall of the liquor store? Like, who is this cat I was hearing them dudes on the bus talking about?
Mm,
And then I discovered that there was this whole world of San Francisco rap that was just kind of coinciding with what I was getting into in terms of doing graffiti,
mm,
in terms of what was going on in the streets at the time, and just me having that hip hop background, listening to Wake Up Show as a kid, listening to the
mm,
freestyles. It was like a world that I could just jump right into, and started from freestyling to recording to handing out mixtapes to putting music on the shelves, rocking shows. and the next thing you know, I was pretty much in the game, you know.
Yeah, were you always because I know you do a little bit of the graffiti work too. Were you always was that first, or was it the writing of the music that was first for you? Or did it both kind of happen at the same time?
I was always like, I remember writing raps like as a little kid, but
Mm,
like the moment I took rap seriously was the same day I started writing graffiti.
mm,
They
mm.
literally intertwined. I went to my boy's house. I bought a marker in the beginning of the day. I was like, I'm about to start bombing. He was like, I'm coming with you. So we like walked to his house, hitting up, and then I got to his house. He had Technic 1200s,
Mm.
he had vinyl, he had all this. He was scratching, and then I was like, man, you think you can help me record a demo tape? He was like, yeah. And we never did the demo tape, but like it just saw like I saw what was possible
Yeah.
in terms of being able to just get out there and do it. Same with the graffiti. It's the same approach to rap, man. Just go out there, start hitting up, see what happens. Go out there, start rapping, start recording, see what happens.
Yeah, this is what I love about the hip hop culture too, brother. Because like I said, I grew up in Queens,
Hmm.
Queensbridge, Far Rock and Queensbridge mostly. I spent both my times in life, splitting between both. So I grew up when growing up in Queensbridge, I saw the graffiti on the subways
Yeah,
and all that kind of stuff. And I was there when the little bit after like Nas and them started coming through and Large Pro and all those guys. So
yes,
I had that hip hop to me was a different look and feel for my eyes, but it's the same for you. You know what I'm saying? You've seen the same things. It was just like I always tell people, we just cousins from different blocks, you
oh
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But the same principles and the same baseline as far as how this thing
oh yeah,
started, you know what I'm saying? And so it's
yeah,
kind of dope to always hear those stories of like what you saw growing up in San Francisco is very similar to what I seen growing up in Queens, but we just spoke a little different language, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Where,
different
you know what I'm
flavor.
saying, we was sons and duns and all that stuff, and you guys had your own language and all that. So it's kind of dope to kind of see that and hear that, man. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
saying?
And it's interesting because earlier you were mentioning like Rapping Forte and RBL Posse, and a lot of them dudes. Just talking to them, I learned they were influenced by. We were all influenced by what was coming out of New York.
Mm-hmm.
They were banging around on SP 1200s just like Large Professor was.
Mm-hmm.
I think San Francisco and New York have more in common than like LA and New York,
Mm-hmm.
just because it's metropolitan. It's a
International
melting
cities.
pot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
that urban grittiness that we both grow up. I love New York, and I love all the culture that's come out of New York for
When
sure.
because I know you I know we'll talk about your project here soon too. I know you got Spice One featured on there.
Yeah.
When was that? When you got to work with, talk to a politic or one of what you would consider your legends, and they kind of gave you that, that cosign. How did that make you feel when you first kind of got that, like, oh wow, I'm doing this the right way.
Yeah, I was always like I said, I was always an underground cat.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like my goal was never like mainstream superstardom.
Mm-hmm.
It was always just to kind of be part of this underground secret society.
Mm-hmm.
So once I got that stamp, from people like RBL Posse Forte, Andre Nicotina, some of the other people I've worked with, it definitely makes you feel good, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
there's a point, like I said, where you go from a fan to like a member of the society where you really
Mm-hmm.
get that stamp. It's not about how many records you sold,
Mm-hmm.
not about how much money you have. It's just about, are you dope and are you cool as a
Yeah.
person?
Yeah.
And then from the outside, when the listeners start putting you in that category too, like, man, you're one of my top Bay Area rappers, or like,
Mm-hmm.
man, your stuff reminds me of their stuff. It's like, all right, cool. I know I'm doing something right. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
How important is that for you, even to this day, to kind of carry on that torch and that tradition of keeping it raw, keeping it organic? I'm not gonna say commercial, but just keeping it, to the roots as much as you can.
It's super important because I look at a lot of younger artists, newer artists, and I think I don't hate on nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the dopeness and everything. But in terms of like our Bay Area music, the sauce is lost a little bit. It's definitely not about how dope you are anymore. Like a lot of the music is really focused on like hardcore street shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like what are you doing to the other side? What's the craziest thing you can say on a record?
Mm-hmm.
How pointing guns at the screen. It's not even about like flossing or being a player or like, even having skills, having bars.
Hmm.
So it's important for me to like take like so the stuff I grew up on doesn't get lost, but at the same time, I can't make music that sounds like it's stuck in 1994.
Hmm.
But the dope thing about what I've been doing is like literally my fan base is ranging from like 11 years old to
Yeah.
like 50 years old, bro. So
Nice,
I'm like, all right,
nice.
I'm doing the right thing. Like it's not for everybody, but the
Ah,
people it is connecting with are like really dope, and they can see what I'm doing. Like you said, just keeping that tradition alive.
yeah, and speaking of connecting, man, your social media IG page is one of my favorite pages to follow because you'll pop in every once in a while and you'll kind of give the little history on. I think you just recently did one I saw with on Brother Lynch. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
on how
yeah,
important he was to the culture and graffiti and all that stuff, and just the independent hip hop, the independent record scene out there. Um, when did that started? When did that come on your head? Like, hey man, let me use this platform to kind of school people because I'm learning a lot too, man. Because like I said, I grew up at the time in New York. It was either if you wasn't, if you wasn't Mob Deep Nas or nothing like that, I wasn't really checking for it. But as I got older, got more mature, that stuff and like I like learning that kind of stuff. Even living here in Dallas, I'm learning a lot more about like DLC being from out here. You know what I'm
oh
saying? So
yeah,
I'm learning about his influence out here and Erica Badu and down in Houston with the whole DJ Screw movement and all that kind of stuff.
oh
So
yeah,
I
oh
love being a
yeah,
student of the game. So when I'm looking at your page, I'm learning a lot about, when I used to think Bay Area, I just thought Oakland. I never considered San Francisco as part of being that other side of it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Just like New
yeah,
York, you have New York, New Jersey, that tri-state area, but everybody thinks New York. You know what I'm saying? They don't think like
yeah.
Buffalo now. Buffalo's blowing up. So people kind of
Facts.
forget, oh wait, there's other parts of New York outside the boroughs.
Yeah,
So when you
yeah.
when you decide, man, I'm gonna use the social media to kind of start teaching people some stuff too, man.
For a long time, like girls I was hanging out with or people that knew me would be like, man, you gotta take some of this stuff to like the social media because that's just how I am
Hmm.
naturally. Is being like, bro, you never heard this,
Yeah.
pal, like blow your mind real quick, or like, yeah, but they were dope, because they were hooking up with him and he made beats for this and people would be like, damn, you
Hmm.
know a lot about this, and it just comes from, like I said, soaking it in, like
Hmm.
literally from my neighborhood, just seeing what was going on out there, stuff I was blessed to witness. But in March, I really had the idea of like, all right, I'm really gonna get on it this time because in this era, you have to have more than your music to
Hmm.
attract people to your music.
Hmm.
It's so saturated that if you're just saying, "Hey, listen to this," it's not going to get people's attention. Now you have to market yourself. You have to
Hmm.
show people your personality, who you are. You got to give them a glimpse into your world. And for me, the best way to do that was to be like, well, let me talk about what I love, what I'm familiar with,
Hmm.
stuff that other people aren't really might not know, stuff that nobody else is doing. I wasn't really even tripping off it like that. Like, damn,
Yeah.
nobody's doing this,
Yeah.
but yeah, nobody's doing it. So it was like I saw the lane was wide open, and the second I started dropping those videos, it took off like crazy. Like the views have been in the millions. I've
Yeah.
had people from all over the world tapping in. I've had, I got like Drake follows me now. Even Drake been tapping into some of the posts and
Hmm.
other
Hmm.
people that are really notable. So I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, I'm on to something now.
Isn't it wild how I'm pretty sure me and you are around the same age, but isn't it wild how when we were coming up learning about this, like in the '90s per se,
Hmm.
and now you seeing that come back around. It's funny to me because my pops, rest in peace. I used to always tell me, yeah, it's gonna come back around, son. You know what I'm saying? Just be prepared when you're gonna do like I do. Like, man, we did that. That's what we did back in the day. So now I'm starting to do that
Absolutely,
where I'm starting to hear these samples in certain songs now, or I'm starting to
absolutely,
hear DMX being sampled now, or you know what I'm saying? Now the
absolutely.
samples are getting sampled. So it's kind of like, wow, he's not lying, man. So you're starting to see that come around now. And when you said Drake, I thought about the thing where he used was it Rapping Forte? He was using some of his lyrics or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
how that came
yeah,
around, people was like, "Oh, that's clever," and I'm like, "That's old." I heard that
yeah.
before.
But that's the thing about hip hop is that people thought it was a trend.
Hmm.
People never thought it was going to be what it was. There's no other genre of music in the modern era, maybe in any era, period,
Hmm.
that has been this popular for this long. And
Mhm.
it's actually getting more and more popular as it evolves and it grows and it progresses. And like you said, the crazy thing is that everything comes full circle. No idea is original. There's nothing new under the sun.
Mhm.
So these samples, these old beats, these old rhymes, these old styles, there's a nostalgic value
Mhm.
that doesn't feel corny. Like when we were growing up, if you were to look at something from like, maybe some disco balls in the 70s, you'd be like,
Mhm.
oh my God, what is this polka dot stuff? I show some kids some stuff from the 90s. They're like, whoa,
Yeah, yeah,
it's still fresh, it's still relevant, it's still
yeah,
got flavor. And that is something that's completely unique to hip hop.
yeah, yeah. You used to do you still got any pieces from back in the day that you held on to that you can remember? Any jerseys or nothing of that stuff?
Man, if I did, bro, I went to the Smithsonian, the African American exhibit, and they
Uh,
had the same Fat Albert. You remember the Fat Albert joint?
the FUBU joints.
They had to say, I'm like, I had that back in the day, bro. Like, man, if I
Yeah,
if I could go back in time and put all my gear into dry cleaning storage bags, oh
yeah.
my
And just
God.
hold on to it. I still got a couple of pieces. I still got a couple of Mecca. I remember when Mecca was a big
Oh
deal.
yeah, all
I got a
that.
couple Mecca pieces still. The Jordans I held on to, but after a while they blow up on your feet if you wear them. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I still got a lot of my jerseys. They weren't the big baggy joints, not like the, what I'm saying.
yeah,
They fit me back in the day.
yeah.
So now I got a stepson who's 22 and he's like, yo, let me wear that. I'm like, man, this is
That's
like
crazy.
you gotta take care of this. You know what I'm saying? This is
Yeah,
a Michael Jordan Nike joint. This ain't a Mitchell and Ness. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. And that's
So
crazy because that era is gone now because what's popular is, I mean, there's streetwear brands. Let's be
mhm,
like streetwear is kind of
mhm,
not as popular as it was maybe 5 years ago.
mhm.
But like the popular stuff is like designer
Yeah,
stuff right now.
yeah,
Like, $500 plain black T-shirt from Balenciaga.
yeah.
Yeah, like that was a special era. All those brands, the FUBU, the Fat
Uh-huh.
Farm, the Academics, the Coogee,
Yeah.
uh, the LRG. Like that was an ill era to come up in.
Man, it was a great time capsule to be in, man. It was a
Yeah,
great time. So Sucka Repellant, man, that's the name of the new project that you dropped. Congratulations on the release for that one, man.
thank you, bro.
Just from the title, I already get it, what you would think behind that, but let the listeners know, man. When you titled that, what was your message just from that alone when you called it that?
The album came together like without a specific concept in mind. I just was collecting beats, writing raps, going to the studio, and then next thing I know, I got 5, 6, 7, 8 songs. The project is forming, and then I looked at what I was talking about on a lot of records, and a lot of them were inspired by my real life dealings with haters, man.
Mm.
And I'm not the type to like. I don't do the internet back and forth. I
Yeah,
don't get on my IG live and cuss people out. I don't get on the phone and say, "Hey man, wife." No, I don't do
yeah,
that. I don't. I'm not into that. But I will blaze you on a track. And if you
yeah.
want to raise your hand and say, "Hey, that's me," he's talking about. Well, then the shoe fits, I guess. So and then not only just like blazing back against some of the hate I was getting, is just more so like using that as an example of how not to move. Like
Mm.
I try to conduct myself in a player type of way, and when I say player, it's not like a ladies' man. It's not. It's more like it's just having that game, having that knowledge of self, that knowledge of the world, on
Mm.
making the right moves, make your next move your best move.
Mm.
Don't do any sucker shit, no sucker activities. And it also kind of connects back to like the classic Bay Area theme,
Mm. Mm.
bringing it back to like 40 and them and the stuff I was raised on, and just putting my own twist on it.
Yeah. I always used to think, man, that the Bay Area was always been the home of having that pride. You know what I'm saying? Like just proud for where you from. Like you said, conducting yourself a certain type of way. Shit, the Bay Area is the home, the birth of, the Black Panther Party and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. So it's always been like a special place I wanted to visit just to feel that energy because it feels like you guys, if because New York kind of lost its way a little bit, and everybody is kind of losing their way. But if I look at the scene overall, as far as how me and you were talking on this underground indie level, it seems like that Bay Area is one of those cities that stay true to who they are. You know what I'm saying? And they like you said, they tap into the OGs and connect with them, and let them give them game. You know what I'm saying? And they take heed to that advice. So it's always dope to see that kind of stuff and see the movement that's going on out there.
Yeah, it's a special kind of market because we're not talking about one city.
Mm-hmm.
Talking
Mm-hmm.
about San Francisco, Oakland, Vallejo, Richmond, Berkeley, San Jose, and everywhere in between, that all has its own unique flavor, its own culture, but kind of all falls under this Bay Area umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
All this diversity and all this innovation and social movements that have come out here have definitely influenced, as well as the street game, like being the home of the Mac, where that
Mm-hmm.
movie was filmed. The old school pimp culture is real
Mm-hmm.
heavy out here. The car culture is real heavy out here.
Mm-hmm.
We always had this bubble, to the degree we get kind of mad when people don't recognize us or people don't rock with us. But at the same time, this bubble is like, man, we don't need you to rock
Yeah.
with us. Like the
Yeah.
cats I grew up listening to were getting six figures, millions of dollars just by moving around the Bay Area because the rappers out here are like gods to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
They might not be the most popular rappers in like Philadelphia or something like that, or like on a worldwide recognized scale, but it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter because
Mm-hmm.
we still got our own thing going on that we don't really need anybody else to co-sign us.
Yeah, it's kind of like you have to come there to feel that energy. You know what I'm saying? It travels, but it doesn't travel unless you travel to the Bay Area to feel it. We be like, oh, okay, this is I now I know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? This is what I want. Because I mean,
Yeah.
everybody who comes to Cali loves it, right? You know what I'm saying? They don't want
Yeah,
to leave.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's not like, like New York, there's so much documentation of the culture out there
Yeah.
from the music to the movies. Same thing from LA. You got
Mm-hmm.
Boys in the Hood and Colors and all these different things that kind of captured that. The Bay Area has never really gotten that. And then even beyond that, like you're saying, like, all right, people might know Oakland. They might not know what's going on in San
San
Francisco. They might
Francisco.
not even know that there's black neighborhoods in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just it is kind of like one of those best kept secrets.
Do you feel like you got a lot of work left to do as far as letting people know about that? You still got more to teach?
Yeah, bro, I'm just getting started. I've been doing this like my whole life, and I feel like I'm just now beginning. I'm just beginning a new chapter, and it's cool that like I get to be one of these people that's like carrying on the torch, getting that recognition for that. But I don't pat myself on the back and be like, yeah, I did it. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
nah, like this is just the beginning, and there's so much more to be done. I want to get into films one day. I want to, find other ways to tell these stories besides the music, and
Mm.
I'm just excited, bro. Like I got my label has an office, 5 minutes from where I grew up, and
Nice.
I'm still out here. I'm still part of the community. Like different places I go, if I could walk into a bar, they might start playing my music, or if I'm just walking down the street, people stop and come up to me. It's like, all right, cool. Like I'm able to like plant that flag and
Mm.
and let it be known what's going on
Word.
out here.
Word. The beauty of that, man, is you did it without the machine. You know what I'm saying? You do it on your own merits, and you're doing it like we started at the beginning with the word organic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that's one of the reasons I wanted to reach out to you to bring you on, man, because I love I connect with people like that. I don't want to say hate's a strong word, but I don't I'm like you. When I listen to music, I listen to the B-sides, I listen to the album cuts coming up. I listened to you had the Wake Up Show, so I had Stretch and Bobito. You know what I'm saying?
for
Those are the type of
sure.
shows I was
Yeah,
into. So
yeah,
we kind of similar when it comes to that, as far as us being cousins again. And so I just when I started this platform, I kind of kept that mold in mind of I don't Jay-Z don't need to talk to me, or I don't need to play his records. You know what I'm saying? It's these cats out here who I consider them premier and elite. You know what I'm saying? They just need that little extra push from to let people hear the music, man. And I'm honored to call you what we call our guests is boom bap alumni. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
we definitely play the music, and we definitely want to share anything you got going on. I know you just got the album release. And so we've been playing joints off of the project from there. And anything else, man, you can think of you want to help promote, man, just let me know. We'll bring you back on and talk about it. We can put it on our website, and we just want to help promote what you got going on, man, because I love the organics of it.
Yes, love. Likewise, man. Maybe if I take a trip out to Dallas, we can connect on something, man. But I'm constantly working. I'm constantly putting stuff out. I'm traveling, so I'm sure there'll be many more opportunities for us
Dope,
to
dope,
build in the
dope.
future.
Dope, man. Well, how about this, man? Let's tell the people where you gonna be at show wise. What shows you got coming up? Let's document that.
I'm gonna be in Tokyo in December. I
Nice,
got a
nice.
show out there with my folks at Heavy Sick Zero is the name of the nightclub. I'm working on dates right now in Humboldt County, Northern California. I'm also going to be in San Diego pretty soon. A few other dates around California and other parts of the country. I haven't finalized everything just yet, but
Okay.
I'm getting there. Yeah.
Dope, dope. And as far as purchasing the record, purchasing the album, man, what's the best way we can go purchase your music that'll benefit you most the financially wise? Which website or what's the best way we can go get that?
If you go to audiovandals.com/sucka dash repellent, all the links are there. You can order a CD, which even if you don't have a CD player, is a nice collectible piece of art that
Mm-hmm.
will increase in value over time. Because some of my old CDs have been resold for like $50, $60. So that's probably the best way. iTunes is always nice. Bandcamp, you can purchase the direct download. But really, I'm just happy if anybody's checking me out. It's available everywhere music is sold. So I'm just happy for anybody who's out there listening, even if it's
Nice.
just a couple streams.
Nice, brother. Nice, man. Well, hey, man, this is home to you now, brother. You know what I'm saying? Come on back and let's talk next time if you got anything else going on. I'm constantly on your social media following your history lessons that you give and all of that. So we definitely want to help promote all that. So do you put those out on is it just on your Instagram or you have a YouTube or anything that you put those
Yeah, I
on
have a
to?
YouTube channel, and if you go to my YouTube channel, it's just Dregs One. If you go there, you can also check out the History of the Bake podcast, where some of the artists have been coming on and telling the stories themselves
Dope,
in a
dope.
long format. So,
Well, dope, man. If you don't
yeah,
mind, man, what I may do is I may snatch up those links and put them on our website and share those if you're
of
cool with
course.
that too.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Please do. Please
Dope,
do.
dope, dope,
Yeah.
dope, man. Who you want to shout out, brother, before we get out of here?
I just want to shout out everybody that's out there listening, because if you're listening to this, it means you're a real listener. You're a real head. Like you say, you're not just tapping into what's going on in the mainstream. So I appreciate everybody out there that's still digging in the crates, whether it's physical crates or digital crates. I appreciate that people who's got their ear to the street, and anybody out there who's supporting independent music, including yourself.
Dope, dope. You enjoying the process still, man? Still enjoying the journey?
Bro, I love it. I love it. Every day I do this full time. So every day I wake up and go to work, and it doesn't feel it's a lot of work, but it don't feel like work because I love every minute of it, bro.
Nice, nice, dope, bro. Well, definitely more continued success, my man. And like I said, we're gonna play a couple records after this interview off the album. And like I said, man, whenever you got anything going on, come on back. Let's talk about it, brother. And then the door is always open for you. Anybody on your team, you got any other artists that you want to recommend, man, just send them my way, man, and we'll take care of them.
All right, that's love, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I enjoyed our conversation for sure.
All right. All right. He goes by the name of Dregs One. He is checking in here in the mixtape show. This week's artist of the week. Go cop that album. Check out his website. Go to his YouTube and all of that. We'll share some of his work on our website. And you hear him on the station all the time, man. So definitely appreciate your time, brother. We'll get into this record and we will be right back. Peace.
Much love.